welcome back. Technical difficulties. Joe. You were talking about Comedy Works.
Yeah, Comedy Works is just an amazing experience. Super fortunate to be able to have been able to do it,
Hmm.
and honestly, hoping to do it more often. Then it just further inspired me to plan my own comedy festival.
Let's talk about it. Let's
Yeah.
talk about it because I think this has got me excited about comedy and festivals and coming back out to Colorado for a little bit and hanging out.
Mm.
So please, the floor is yours, good sir.
Boom. So, um, Trailhead Comedy Festival is taking
Hmm.
place
Hmm.
across Summit County, October 8th through the 10th. Three towns right now. We're looking at 6 to 9 shows.
Hmm.
I've been very fortunate, just through networking and friends to find a lot of sponsorship. But we've got a pretty good lineup coming together. I've got all the headliners already confirmed. So now it's filling it out with the showcases and, everyone else is going to perform. I've gotten interest from about 130 comics as of right now who have said like they want to come out and perform, but obviously, I don't have the time or the budget.
I'm sure there's some bars around your place. Maybe they could be like, "Hey, we'll host an open mic while they're here."
Maybe, but would you like? I feel like it's too many people at that point because like 130 comics, like
I mean, spread over the days,
yeah. But even then, like statistically speaking, like if you say, "Hey, who wants $1?" and you get 1,000 people to line up, and you have enough money for each of them to give each of them $1, what's the likelihood that some of them are gonna be terrible people or some of them are gonna be shitty? And like that's
you're rolling the dice on humanity at that point. Like,
it's the same thing with comedy.
true,
Like
true,
how many people have you met who are like, yeah, I'm a professional comic, and then you're like, you got
professional dumbass.
yeah,
Like,
it's like, dog, you got 2 minutes of comedy. Like, I'm not trying to shit on you or anything, but like, maybe get a few more reps in, build out more of a set.
well, like it's an open mic. You
Yeah,
know, what I mean? Like,
but
we're not.
also,
You're
I
not.
don't know.
You, you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, but like, having people apply to come out here to do an open mic, I feel like that would be like unfair to them, because like with the application process, the money is going towards reinvestment into the comics,
I
right?
wouldn't say apply to them. Like, if just be like, hey, this spot's gonna host an open mic tonight. This
Mm.
spot's gonna host an open mic on Saturday before the show. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, but then I feel like it runs a risk of like, kind of burning people out.
True. True.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. Never mind. Forget my ideas
nah, dude. It's like, and everything is a good idea. It's like, it's just a
until it
matter of
executes.
well, yeah, it's a matter of execution, and like, Summit County's not very big, so
Yeah.
it's not like Denver or Detroit or New York City where you might have in New York City you might have 100 open mics running a night, and you have no idea where even most of them are.
Mm-hmm.
This is a small community. So it's just making sure I do everything right by my standards
Mm-hmm.
and making sure that I do right by the comics. So
Mm-hmm.
I've got plans, I've got ideas for how I want to execute everything,
Mm-hmm.
but I've got smaller venues for the showcases, and those hold about 40 to 80 people, which is, I think, a good amount for a showcase because who wants to pay money to go out to a 300-person theater to see someone they've never heard of? Nobody.
True. That is very true.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I think doing the showcases in smaller venues allows us to maximize the space of the room, allow those people to come up and perform in front of a
Mm-hmm.
crowd of people that want to be there. Then
Mm-hmm.
For the larger venues, I've got a couple 300-person venues, and some of the smaller ones hold about 150 to 200.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
those would be more for like some of the headliners that I have coming in. As of right now, I've got headliners coming in from LA, New York, Denver, and potentially Texas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And these are all people that I spoke to from the beginning and confirmed everything with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be essentially a two-part festival, right?
Mm-hmm.
So first part is going to be the showcases where people come out, see new comics they maybe haven't seen before, different lineup every night, and then later that night will be the actual bigger show with bigger names, and those will be in larger venues.
Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yeah, so I got hotel discounts already lined up for anyone who's coming into town, whether it's just for the day or for the weekend. I've got food catering taken care of, so everyone gets fed, whether they're a volunteer or they're performing. Making sure you got food in your stomach is pretty essential. And then my
Mm-hmm.
main goal after this is to make sure that I can pay every comic for every show that they do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Big part of the research I've been doing is talking to friends of mine that are nationally touring comics and regionally touring comics, and I'm like, hey, when you've done festivals, what has been your experience? And most of them are like, you don't get paid, you don't get much time on stage. It's like you apply, you drive or fly there. You got to pay for your own hotel room. You got to pay for your own food. You got to pay for your own drinks. If you want to go to like any of the mixers, you got to pay to go to those. And then you leave. So it's like, you lose a lot of money. And, one of the bigger names that I was talking to, they were talking to me about what it means to be like a festival comic. And they're like, essentially, you have to become what they call a festival darling, which is like you are always doing comedy festivals. But that can be a lot of time and a lot of money that you're investing for little to no return.
Mm-hmm.
And oftentimes, what they were telling me was a lot of the festival darlings are not the best people there. They're just the ones who can afford to go to every single festival.
Mm-hmm.
So, I want to offer something different where it's like, hey, we're going to pay you. Hey, I've got discounts lined up. Hey, I'm going to feed you every day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm working on getting shuttles to transport the comics around from, the hotel to the venues. So they don't have to worry about that. Also, transportation up here is free, but I still want to have that option, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I'm also doing community events every day. So, I've got a magician who's going to come up and perform and do like some family shows.
Dude, I have not seen a good magician in a long time. It's been about the better part of 10 years.
I'm not going to lie, this magician is really good. Like,
Okay.
we booked him for an event with the nonprofit that I'm a part of.
Okay.
And he came, and I was like, man, this dude's going to do like animal balloons or whatever. I'm gonna be
Yeah.
annoyed, whatever. But nah, this guy rules. Like
Okay.
he's so cool. He's been doing it a very long time. He's like a very genuine person, which I deeply respect, and like he cares about what he does.
Okay.
So, I confirmed everything with him. He's going to come up and do two shows. He's going to do one for children, and then he was like, "Hey, I also have material for adults." And I was like, "Perfect! Like, come do that too."
Yeah.
And then,
Hell yeah, dude.
I'm also going to be providing headshots and videos of every comic that performs.
Mm-hmm.
So, that's something, when I was talking to a lot of comics, is like, what's something that you need that you don't have right now? And they're like, headshots. Like, we can't afford to get headshots done, every month or every 2 months. So I'm like, cool. Like, I'll throw that in there. I've got some friends that are photographers that, I'm going to pay them to come up and do this. And then I'm in the process of working with the local college with their arts and photography program to see if they will offer some either credits or extra credit to students. And essentially, the agreement I plan to sign with the students will allow them to use these photos that they take at the festival for their portfolios, which they can use either for end of the semester project or for their graduation project. So
Okay. Okay.
yeah, the main focus for this festival is, to one, show off the community that, I've invested past 9 years of my life into, but even more so to show the importance of reciprocity. It's like, it's a word a lot of people don't really choose to acknowledge these days, but it's like it's to reciprocate. I do something for you, you do something for me, but it's not always a transactional situation.
Yeah.
And it's like I don't ever want to go into a situation saying like, "Hey, man, I helped you out 8 years ago. You got to help me back now." It's like, no. If I'm gonna do something, I want to do it from like a genuine place in my heart.
You're doing something, not really expecting anything in return.
Yeah,
You know what I
and
mean?
yeah, and like that's been a big thing. Is everyone is like, "Well, are you gonna pay yourself?" And I'm like, "I'm not planning to."
Yeah.
But I see this again as an investment in the community, as an investment in the place where I live, and like this has potential to bring a lot of money to the community, which in turn helps businesses, it helps revenue, it helps the towns. So if I'm helping the town that I live in and that I work for with a little bit of extra tax revenue from lodging, from businesses and all that stuff, that helps me because that in turn pays my bills. So
Yep.
these are all things where it's a symbiotic relationship, right? So that's also like a bigger goal. Yeah, I'm super excited to continue to work on this and to get things lined up. You're coming out for it, so
I got to
pretty.
schedule that vacation Monday too.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I got to buy a plane ticket. So,
Yeah,
mm-hmm.
yeah. So I'm pretty pumped about that. Some of my buddies from college have said they're going to come out. My family's talked about coming out. I've got one of my cousins is like a social media megastar, basically. Um, but she said she'd love to come out, and she is like a funny internet personality, but she mentioned like she wants to try stand up comedy. So I was like, you can definitely do it. Like that would be a good place for
An
an
open
open
mic.
mic.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like,
Maybe in a couple years, cousin. Maybe in a
well,
couple years.
I'm like, I don't think you want to come out here and like bomb
Bomb
on the
your first
stage.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
at a festival, that would probably feel pretty
Yeah.
terrible.
Those followers will go down pretty quick.
Yeah, yeah. So I'm all in all, I'm super pumped. It's just been putting my nose to the grindstone, trying to stay busy. Use all these connections that I've made over the years, and use them for something good.
Absolutely, dude. Hell yeah.
Yeah,
Hell yeah. We've been talking about it over the past couple of weeks, and it's just like I hear the excitement in your voice about it, and it makes me excited for you. So,
dude. Hey, I appreciate that, man. It's like
fire.
it's like I get excited over simple things.
Yeah.
Mainly women, but I'm like,
Ooh, he's candy.
yeah, yeah. But I'm like, what if I redirect that towards something that has the potential for like long-term growth instead of
Yep.
just that short-term dopamine boost. You know what I mean?
Yep, dude. You know what? Let's talk about it for a hot second. Like,
Yeah.
we'll talk. Okay, the subject of dating. Um, if you really get into something that you love, and really start building something and want to build something with long-term growth, dating goes right out the window. You know what I mean? Like, so, like me streaming and podcasting, you comedy and building the festival, like, dude, I've not had a lot of time for dating either. As a matter of fact, I deleted all those stupid apps off my phone because it's like I don't even want to see them. I don't even want to get distracted because of it because it's like it's potential. It's a huge potential for diverting us off course. You know what I mean?
You're a better man than me.
Ah, dude, like it takes a minute. You get
Yeah.
used to swiping and looking at all the real hot girls on there, and like it once you start filling it with something else, like I don't know, pick
Hey,
something. But
I,
it's hard. It's a hard habit to break. It's a
hey,
hard
man.
habit to break.
I'll tell you right now. I love me a good distraction,
Yeah, especially
especially.
like a 5'2" Latina girl. Yeah,
Nah, I can't do it
yeah.
anymore, man.
I have got all eyes on the Latina women. So
Oh yeah, I know.
yeah,
I've been
yeah,
seeing the memes you've been sending me,
yep.
but
Yeah. Like I'm on my way. Let me get my bags packed. Like,
hey, Duolingo, here I come, baby.
yep,
Yeah,
yep.
let me get that annual subscription
I
right
will
now.
learn. I will learn the language on the plane.
Yeah, yeah. I've been wanting to learn Portuguese anyways. Why
Oh my
not?
God, I've had it on the bucket list for years.
Yeah, yeah. It's at the top of this list that I wrote last week.
On the back of my Dixie cup.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just I don't know, man. Like sometimes I think "Hey, I should really focus like singularly on this thing, but sometimes like I've realized like with anything for myself, like having a good distraction from time to time is nice because once it's gone, I'm like, oh, I can now like I feel reinvigorated to focus on this thing. Because if I singularly focus on one thing too long, I'll just get burned out and then I'll stop caring. So yeah,
Yep, yep. I got you on that. I feel you on that. Like, if I have a little bit of that, like before this podcast, I like had an hour, so I just laid in bed and I scrolled TikTok while Dante's Peak was playing,
uh,
and a lot of burnt peanuts showed up on my has been showing up on my for you page, and I'm like, okay, if that was Pretty Chicks, I wouldn't be inspired to like podcast or stream because like I see the burnt peanut and he's having a lot of fun. I want to have a lot of fun on stream, so that's what gets me re-energized to do it again. But like if it was women, I'd probably still be laying in bed right now.
yeah,
Like, you know what I mean? Like you
yeah,
are correct in picking in what you choose.
yeah, and like I again, I don't ever want to like ignore the possibility of finding someone or something that like I really enjoy that could be outside of like the normal realm of possibilities or something that I'm normally used to. So, it's like I won't say no unless you remind me too much of like an ex, then I'm like, all right, this kind of feels like I'm falling back into old patterns. But yeah, nah, man. I every so often, like I'll like take a break from all of them, and then I'll be like, I haven't looked at these in a while, and then I open them up, and I'm like, oh, this is cool, and then I just take another break, and like for me, that's what it's
Hmm.
like is like everything in moderation. I'm not like going crazy spending money on like Tinder Gold or whatever
Dude,
to
I did it
see.
once. Like, nah,
Dude,
nah.
I had a buddy who used to go crazy on there. Like, I mean, like to the point where he was close to maxing out credit cards.
Dude, get no.
And I'm just like, bro, like, what are you doing? And he'd be like, dude, like, I met this chick. And I'm like, I would hope so because you've invested a lot financially. Where does she live? Ah, man, she's
Guatemala.
dude. He's like one of them. She's in like Burlington, and I don't.
Kentucky?
No, no, no. Like Burlington, Colorado.
Okay.
And like I don't know if you know exactly where Burlington is, but it's on the Colorado Kansas line. So I'm like,
Okay.
you're gonna drive 4 hours to do what?
Right? That's okay. So that's my biggest thing with these apps too. Like I'll put a 10-mile radius, like local. You get 4 or 5 swipes into it. It's like, oh, this chick lives in Germany. Like, what the hell? I'm not looking in Germany.
Hey
Like,
man, they got once they get those hooks in you, it's just like a lot of people can't turn it off, right? Again, it's the whole idea of doing things in moderation.
I tell you what, there's now playing a lot of Hunt Showdown, so like the Louisiana Bayou accent's coming out. But there's this one app. I don't know if you heard of it called Bumpy. It is international dating.
Oh no.
So hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. I downloaded it because I was like, you know what? Jesus said, "Cast your nets on the other side." So let's give it a shot. And I gotta tell you, you get a lot of matches on that app. And like this one chick and I, she lived in the UAE, like near Dubai, and we would like talk on WhatsApp and whatnot. And then we started video chatting and whatnot. And I thought it's actually really cool. Like it's really cool to meet people from on the other side of the planet. The problem is with that app is that they're on the other side of the planet. So, what can you do? Hope and pray. Like
And like I'll tell you, getting to the UAE is not cheap.
I've heard, and I'm not a big fan.
Yeah,
Not a
man.
big fan.
But also, like, I feel like you got to know who you are as a person, right? Because
Hmm.
like, I feel like how do I say this without sounding like a dick?
This would be the show to say it.
I sometimes like the idea again of that short-term dopamine hit where I'm
Hmm.
like, oh, this woman thinks I'm cute. This person thinks I'm attractive.
Hmm.
Cool, yeah, I'll take the time to get to know you. But then they're like, hey, we should hang out, and I'm like, nah.
No, you were just a
I'll
dopamine fix, baby.
yeah,
That's it.
I'll flirt with you all day, but like getting to know me, oh no no no.
How much
Like,
time you got? Like,
but and it's like. It, for a long time, that's what would happen. But then I started being upfront, where I'm like, hey, like I'm very busy, and like I'm not saying that to make excuses, but like like I work, I do comedy, I'm on the board of directors for a nonprofit, I'm planning a comedy festival, I have a dog, I'm in school, like I'm doing all these things concurrently, so I don't exactly have like the most amount of free time, right?
hmm.
So in my little bit of free time, again, I'm with my dog, I'm doing homework,
Hmm.
I'm networking and sending emails, I'm doing laundry. So, like there may be times where if the weather's right, I can come down and see you if you're down in Denver or something along those lines. But like I'm not going to always have time. And some of them are like, oh, yeah, that's very understandable, very commendable. If you end up with more free time, like, I'd love to pursue things. And then other ones are like,
Why don't you make more time?
well, most of them at that point, I think it's like, if you're not interested, you kind of just like leave a person on red. But,
Yeah.
I'm kind of just like, I'm like, I get it, man. Like, it sounds weird to like get to know a person or like flirt with a person a bunch. And then they're just like, hey, by the way, I got no time for you.
I feel there's two ways I would. Someone told me that there's two ways I would think about it. One, probably missing the world's biggest metaphorical bullet, and two, they're just not interested. You know what I mean? Like, and maybe sometimes they are busy. Like, and you're being honest about it. You are busy. But like how they would think about it is like, well, he just doesn't want to meet. Like, no, I am seriously just busy. Like, if I was not interested, I would tell you I'm not interested.
Yeah. But also,
For
like, I feel like
if
I wouldn't bother to swipe on a person if I wasn't interested. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the whole thing about swiping. Like, you got to get to know them to be interested. Like looks only get you so far. You got a
Hmm.
shitty attitude, nobody wants to hang around you. You know what I mean? And like that's how I am. Like if someone has a shitty attitude that I'm talking to or like interested in, get out of here. Go and get. Like, so I mean, like talk like meeting up for people or meeting up with a coffee date or something or dinner or yada yada yada. Like that's where you get to tell them or that's where you find out. I'm just not interested. Or like or I'm busy, or I don't know. I don't know what the fuck these kids are doing these days. Like, like
Hey
you know what I
man,
mean?
I'm not gonna lie. I fucks with a coffee date heavy.
If I liked coffee more, I would.
I see. I love coffee.
You put
But
Swiss Miss in a cup of black coffee for me, I'm there.
nah, that's
I'm
sugar.
there.
You just want sugar. That's
I'm there. Well, I mean, it's got to be tasty sugar. It
yeah.
can't be just a jar of it.
I don't know. Like I drink a lot of like just black coffee, like black
Yeah,
iced coffee. That's
yeah.
my shit. I went crazy today and got oat milk in my iced coffee. But
Ooh.
yeah, but
Yep.
I was like I like I honestly I'm starting to prefer coffee dates over like going out and drinking dates
See,
cuz
I like the dinner and drinks.
see
It breaks
I
it up a little bit. Eat a little bit, ask a question. Eat a little more, ask a question. Give you time to process what they're saying.
I
See?
I feel like I for me it's the opposite. I'd rather start off with coffee and then if it goes well, we can plan a dinner date because like for me coffee and like coffee and a pastry, for example. We're sitting down, we're talking, the sun is out, hopefully it's beautiful. We can soak up the sun. It's still early in the day, so the town or wherever we are isn't like fully awake. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So you have an opportunity to get to know this person in a more vulnerable place where people are more likely to be open.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like with dinner, you don't always know who that person is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, granted, you don't really know who the person is either way. But like with dinner, it's like, oh, this is where I want to go. And then it's like, what if you're messing with someone and you don't know that they're like a raging alcoholic and
It's a
they
good
just
time to
get,
find out.
I don't know, man. Like that's always a fear. Is like, what if we go out for dinner and drinks and you just run up the tab, and it's just like, oh, you want a picture for yourself, huh?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I see where you're going. Like you're running up my tab just to get free dinner. Like I get it.
yeah, and
I
like
get it. The best piece of dating advice I've ever had given to me was if you're going to ask somebody on a date, do something you want to do and have them tag along. Perfect. That was the best piece of dating advice I've ever gotten. It really had. It really was.
I feel like that has a lot of potential to work, but it also has the potential of being like, I don't know if I want to do those things, which is also great because it weeds those people out.
Mm-hmm.
Like I've done that. Like, whenever woman I'm talking to learns about Morty, they're like, "Oh yeah, like I'd love to go on a walk with you guys." And I've had friends or people that I've seen in the past who've just come over and we've gone for walks. Let her get to know Morty, and we get to have some good conversations while we walk around, and you know, if it goes somewhere, it goes somewhere. If it doesn't, so be it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's I don't know. I feel like there's what is that saying? Like there's a thousand ways to skin a cat, which is a very weird saying. I don't get that one at all. That sounds like something a serial killer came up with. But there's basically there's a bunch of different approaches to dating, right? It's just whatever
Yeah.
works best for you.
Correct. That's yep.
Yeah,
At the bottom line of this part of the conversation, yes. Whatever works
yeah,
for you is how you date.
yeah. And for me, I don't like just jumping into something anymore, because like I've been burned in the past, but like also, you have an idea of a person, right?
Mm-hmm.
and then you start hooking up. So there's no real chance for you to get to know that person. You only have the idea that you've created in your head of this person.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you start to see the real them, it's like you're not who I had in my head, which can oftentimes lead to rifts and frustrations in the relationship. So I would
Well,
rather.
that's just the if you start seeing that kind of thing, like either playing your exit or uh, you know, bring it up to them, like, hey, you are not the same person that I met X amount of months ago. What happened?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So communication goes a long way.
Yeah, but a lot of people don't know how to do that, you know?
True.
Like,
Like I do get nervous bringing stuff up like that because it's like, well, what if they, what happens here? You know what I mean? Like I have a horrible problem with, not a horrible problem with communication in it. It's just, it's like when I see someone and I meet them and I think they're really cool, and 6 months later they turn out to be like the total opposite of what I met. I plan my exit. I don't even talk about it because it's like the real you's coming out. Okay, let's go ahead and plan it. You got 2 weeks notice.
Jesus.
You
Yeah,
got
I
a
don't.
2 weeks notice.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's it's really hard. Dating is really hard. The entire idea of being vulnerable with another person is very hard,
Mm-hmm.
because oftentimes, you know, there is potential for you to be scared that the person that you're with isn't going to like the real you.
Mm-hmm.
So you start to create versions of yourself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you are constantly putting on this face, it becomes exhausting, it becomes tiring, and then one day you slip up and you're like, man, I don't want to go for that hike. It's like, well, our entire relationship has been built around us going for hikes, and you're like, I don't really feel like doing that anymore. It's like, well, now it's like, well, like the one thing that's been holding this relationship together is now starting to separate. So, like, do we find something else? So, like, dude, I've seen couples been together for decades.
Mm-hmm.
They only play pickleball together, or they only do like winter sports with each other, and that's their
Mm-hmm.
entire relationship. They barely talk to one another. They have separate bank accounts,
That's a boring relationship.
but for some people, that's all that they need. And I think that's the other thing is like, what is it that you want from this relationship, and what are your expectations? And if you do not find that in this person, are you willing to have those tough conversations, or are you willing to just pack it up and end it? And it's like it could be like, well, this person is really great. They're really cool to be around. They're a really good friend. Do I give all of that up because we don't have the best chemistry romantically?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like again, everyone has what works for them and what doesn't work for them. So like for me, I'm I'm not big on like hooking up. I want to get to know you and then,
Mm-hmm.
proceed from there. And, I've had a lot of friends where like, you know, I'll get their number and we'll start hanging out. And then one girl was like, I can't tell if you actually like me or not. And I was like, why would you like what pushed you to say that? She's like, well,
Mm-hmm.
like you don't really like flirt with me or, X, Y, and Z. And I was like, well, if I say I want to get to know you, like, I feel like it would be disingenuous to say, hey, I want to get to know you, and then all I do is flirt with you. Because again, it takes away from that ability to get to know you. Like, don't worry, I'm going to sprinkle in flirting. But, like I want to make sure that one, we're both comfortable with what's going on, and two, like this is something that we both see as being worth it in the long term,
Mm-hmm.
and that's my approach. And sometimes it's not what other people want, or they they're waiting for the other shoe to fall, and they're waiting to see if I'm going to become someone different. And I'm like, this is who I am, and like if it doesn't work for you, like I get it. You know, it's not going to work for everyone, and it's not something that's particularly easy for people who've never had to do this. But you know, like it's how I choose to operate, and you know, it's saved both parties from like a lot of stress and headaches in the long run.
So you're saying, like, don't put your best foot forward. I want to see the real, like that. Don't put on your shiny shoes.
Not necessarily like because like you want to attract a person, right? So you want to be the best version of yourself. But for me, with a relationship that I'm looking to be in, I want to be the best version of myself, right? So the person that I'm with, I'm hoping that they bring that out of me, right? So, you know, in order to be the best version of myself, I feel as though like I have to be genuine with what I'm doing and what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So that means there may be times where you don't see me at my best, right? Because I can't be open and honest and truthful with who I am as a person if I feel as though like I can't be open and honest when I'm having a bad day or when I'm stressed about something or if I'm having you know a batch of seasonal depression or something, you know what I mean? Like I got to feel as though I can show you these things if I plan on being open with you in the future, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel that same way too, and I feel like, and now that you're saying that, like I feel like dinner and drinks is kind of where people are going to put their best foot forward and be on their best behavior and all that kind of stuff. Like me, I went on a date with a girl and we met at a bar, or we met at O'Charlie's, and I got along with the bartender more than I did the girl I was on a date with. Like I was sitting there just talking to the bartender the whole time, and she was just sitting there, and I was just like, you're not you're not contributing to this conversation or trying to, so I'm going to talk to her. So I paid
Yeah.
for her drinks and her dinner, and see you later. Funny thing is, she started dating my friend like a month later, so we just hung, so we were all hanging out all this. I was like, son of a bitch, man, like, when did we get that drink again?
Yeah, so it's like it's interesting for me because like you know I become friends with mostly women and it's not by any sort of
All they
design.
talk about is like, yo, did you get pussy this weekend? What'd you do? Did you watch a football game? Like, I didn't do any of that, nor is that any interesting to me.
Well, so like I grew up with five older sisters, so like
Yeah,
yeah
raised around women.
I've spent majority of my life around women,
Yeah.
so you know I feel like it's always been easier for me to gravitate towards women,
Yeah.
and
I
you
feel
know
so, like I love having a good conversation with women. It's a
yeah.
lot of fun.
Yeah, and you know, like I'm not opposed to having conversations with anyone, but I feel like for a lot of people who haven't taken the time to invest in themselves, they don't have anything to offer outside of like surface level stuff, right? And I feel as though for a lot of men specifically who haven't unlearned like a lot of the toxic masculinity bullshit, they don't know how to have deep conversations. And every so often, you know, I'm pleasantly surprised and like I have a conversation with a dude and I'm like, dude, hell yeah,
Hell
man,
yeah.
you get it.
Hell
Like
yeah.
we're on the same wavelength. And like I'm friends with those dudes too, but it just so happens that majority of the time the women in my life bring more women into my life, you know?
Yep.
So, yeah, and like basically we end up being friends, and then at some point it happens where a woman is like, "Hey,
What?
you got some charm to you,
Yeah.
and I don't know how I feel about it." And I'm like, "Hey, let's take a second, take a deep breath. Let's unpack this. What does this mean?" And are you trying to get choked consensually?
That's a great opener. How are you feeling, and do you like getting or do you want to get choked?
Hey man, I told
Consensually.
you the
Hey,
flirting has to be sprinkled in there, right?
correct.
It's
Yes.
like if you got a boyfriend, you got a girlfriend, you got a situationship, you got a partner. Hey, you know,
Where do I land, and
that's
how tight do you want the hand?
yeah. It's like if you have a situationship or a person in your life that you're currently involved with, you're persona non grata as far as I'm concerned. Like, I'm not going to do that.
But
Once they are out of the picture, it's a different situation.
yep.
And, you know, I had a friend who brought that up one time, and they were like, you know, you say things, but you say it with such a straight face. I can't tell. And I was like, let me tell you right now, if you ever think that I'm flirting with you, it's because I am. You don't ever have to worry.
Yeah.
Moving forward, until
Yep.
you tell me, hey, I have a partner, hey, I am with this person, I'm gonna keep shooting from the hip.
Yeah.
Because,
Until
you know,
50 no's and a yes means yes. So, yeah.
you know, it's like I said, you know, you gotta know your style, right? You gotta
Hmm.
know how to approach situations. And I'm not into hookup culture, right? I've done it a few times. I never come away from it feeling like I've learned anything, right?
That's a
Or like,
stage of life culture kind of thing. Like, I don't know. After a horrible breakup, let's just go, hop on any fence post or, go bag the last barfly. Like,
I don't know.
I think the hookup, like, are we talking about pineapple upside down hookup culture or just finding or one night stands?
One night stands. Like I can genuinely say like my past few exes have all been really great people, right?
Hmm.
Just for one reason or another we didn't work out. And I have been very fortunate in that regard. You know, that I didn't come away from it feeling, you know, angry or frustrated or, you know,
Well, I wish I
whatever
could
the
say
case
that.
was. Well, you know, it's like
I
I
wish I
just
could.
hey, you know, I get that, and like I've had past relationships in you know my younger years where I did have those situations where like I came away feeling less than, you know,
Hmm.
but you know, again, changing my approach to dating and the intent behind why I'm hanging out with a person or why I'm dating them has helped me sort of avoid a lot of that. But I think that's also helped me sort of figure out, you
What you
know,
want out of a relationship.
yeah, and if it's no longer beneficial for both parties, how do we address this? You know, do we just call it quits? You know, do we, you know, sort of set up an action plan where it's like, hey, let's address this, let's check in with one another more often.
You got 2 weeks notice.
That's crazy, dude. That's crazy to be
Got
like,
2 weeks
hey,
notice, baby.
yeah, just you just leave a letter of resignation on the pillow.
I am no longer happy in this establishment.
Taking
The
my
rules have
talents.
changed. The guidelines and company policies have altered my vision.
Yeah, like I'm taking my talents elsewhere. You know what I
I,
mean?
I I feel like another company would benefit my talent more.
Hey, maybe, and you know, I think that's a thing
I
that
hate breaking up. I hate doing it. Okay. I'm okay. This used to be me until this last relationship, but this used to be me. I used to just let the ship sink, and then I know how to swim. I can swim, and I can swim really good. So, I mean, if the ship's going to sink, let it sink. And come to find out, that's a horrible way to end a relationship.
hmm
So, it's something I've had to work on. And this past relationship, I told her I was like, I am not an option. You're not going to
hmm
consider me an option. So if you got other dealings with, you go have fun. I'm not an option. Like it's I have to protect me.
hmm
So You know, that was the first time I really put my foot down and ending a relationship. So
Yeah.
I got a gold star up on the board.
Amen.
But yeah, just let that's how I used to be. Let the ship sink, and hopefully there's another ship or an island near me. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Bringing up gold stars made me think of a gal that I was seeing for a bit.
did she give you a gold star?
She did.
Oh God.
Um,
Oh God.
it was,
There's people out there that actually give gold stars.
we had joked about it. Um, we joked about her having a praise kink. And she's a preschool teacher. And after a
Joker.
rousing game of
Extracurricular activities.
yeah, hide it and go get it.
I didn't.
As as she was getting dressed, she said, "Hey," and when I turned, she put a gold star on my shirt, and I was like,
Fuck yeah.
"Yeah."
Hell yeah. Like next time, it better be scratch and sniff.
I did not take it off my shirt for a while,
I wouldn't either.
but then it's kind of tough to explain to people where they're like, "Why do you have a gold star on your shirt?" And I'm like, "Hey, you hook up with enough preschool teachers, you're bound to get one, and then you just seem crazy."
Such a good joke, dude. Such a
Dude,
good joke.
hey man,
Oh, that's good.
you gotta let sometimes you gotta let the material come to you.
Yep. Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I'm very fortunate the material has been coming to me, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, it's again kind of circling back. I'm never taking the opportunity to get to know a woman off the table, but if I feel as though like I'm not going to come away from it a better person or at least have some new material,
Mm-hmm.
I'm good. We could be friends. We could, you know, play the whole will they, won't they situation until eventually.
That cat and mouse shit gets on my nerves. I am not a cat and mouse kind of guy. I'm like, hey, I like you. Do you like me? No. All right, move it along. That cat and mouse shit has got in my way plenty of time, and I've shot myself in the foot because of the cat and mouse stuff. Like, some women are not very upfront like that, and you got to be respectful to that. And I've asked plenty of girls like, "Hey," or I've told them like, I'm feeling something for you. What do you feel?" And they're like, "Well, I just don't know yet." Playing all cutesy, and it's like, it don't work for me. I'm out.
Mm-hmm.
Could have been the best relationship if I would have stuck it out, but I just don't do it. I don't. This whole
Mm,
texting, or I wouldn't say texting. Well, actually, I got a quick thing about that. I just don't. I don't like it. I'm not a big fan of that. I gotta guess. You know,
hmm. You know, I think sometimes some
therapy
people.
me, Joe.
Hey,
Therapy me. Maybe I need some.
I don't think there's really any therapy to that, right? I think
Hmm.
it's more the psychology behind it. Is like
Okay.
some people want to be desired.
Hmm.
So, in order for them to feel as though they are deserving of said relationship to occur, right? They want to
Hmm.
feel as though like they're being pursued, they're being chased, they are being coveted, they're being desired, they're being put up on a pedestal. It may not be something that they're used to, or it's something that they've come to expect because it is only ever what's happened over the course of their lives. So it's
Hmm.
it's the psychology behind that. And sometimes,
Okay.
it's again kind of like that dopamine hit. It's like it's nice to know that I'm wanted. You know, like it's nice to know that you want me around,
Okay.
that you are thinking of me throughout the day, right?
Okay.
And I think that is how you keep the spontaneity in a relationship going, right? And I was talking to a friend about this, and she was talking about how, like, in her younger years, she wanted this, like, big, flame of love, right? She just wanted to, like, burn the house down type of, like, spark to kick off between her and another person. And after a series of conversations, she was like, I think I've come to realize, like, I don't want that because it burns out so quickly. She's
Mm-hmm.
like, I want a fire that's going to keep our house warm and one that's tended to and cared for, because
Mm-hmm.
that's the consistency that I want, where it's like, yeah, hey, sometimes that fire may kick up a little bit higher because that log you put in there was in the right place.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
sometimes that's a light choking, a little, it's a light choking, it's a little flirting, it's, hey baby, like, we're going to Chuck E. Cheese, like,
Flower
there's some,
petals in the
yeah,
tub.
yeah, I probably shouldn't joke about Chuck E. Cheese anymore. They don't like that one. But
Who
like,
who doesn't like Chuck E. Cheese
Chuck
anymore?
E. No, I'm saying Chuck E. Cheese don't like when I make jokes about going
How
there.
are they gonna know? Are they on
Hey man,
YouTube like
you'd
Chuck
be
somebody
surprised.
talking about Chuck E. Cheese? Like,
Yeah, Charles E. Entertainment. They got people everywhere. But it's
man,
like, hey baby, like, we're going to the back porch saloon. Wear something sexy, or whatever that is. You getting ready throughout the
well,
day. Just call her, be like, hey, I just want to hear your voice. Like that. That does a lot.
okay, hang on, hang
Hmm.
on.
Hmm.
That's actually kind of my favorite things to do in a
Yeah.
relationship. Call, maybe have a minute phone conversation. How's your day going? Like, okay, I recently went to the live recording of Sex and the Cincy podcast,
Hmm.
and I was sitting there. By the way, wonderful time.
Hmm.
I laughed. That's what was important to me. Anyway,
Hmm.
they played a game of red flag, green flag,
Hmm.
and one of the suggestions was a guy texts you every day, and a lot of people put up red flag, and I'm like, what? What? So like there was this really cute Indian girl sitting next to me, and I looked at her. I was like, "You don't like good morning or good night text?" She's like, "He can text him, but I'm just not going to text him back." And I'm like, "What is going on here? Like, you telling me that someone is taking their time out of their day to say good morning to you? I hope you have a good day, and you're just going to blow it off and say nothing?" Like that would instantly turn me off.
Yeah.
Instantly turn me off to somebody. And it's just like, no wonder she's single.
Yeah. And
You know what I mean? Like
you
that's
know,
my favorite. Like I love sending the good morning text. Wake up to something wonderful when you get it. You know what I mean? Now I'm
I
not
can.
gonna be like, what are you doing? How's your day going? Yada yada yada. Like, what are you wearing? Did you
Hmm.
wear my favorite perfume? Like, yeah, like no. No 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 no.
Like, so, I used to do the same thing, right? When I was with, like, my first long term partner, I would do that, right?
Okay.
I would text her every morning, every night, hey, good morning, hey, good night. And at the time, I was in this program, so I was writing. I was a writer, so I started writing her poems every single day, right? And
Okay.
it got to the point where it stopped being special. And again, it becomes an expectation because I was doing it every single day, right?
Okay.
Now,
It's clicking the exp. Okay.
mhm,
Yep. Yep. Yep.
yeah,
Okay.
and it's like it goes from this thing that you love to this thing that you come to expect. And when
Okay.
you expect it, you lose the appreciation for it because now it's like, well, this is what I deserve. So get to it, writer boy. Do the thing. Do the poetry. And it's like
Oh.
that feeling doesn't hit the same, right? But again, if
Okay.
it's if it's a good morning text, right? Every single morning, you wake up to a good morning text. At a certain point, you're gonna be like, "Oh, cool." And it's not because that person means less to you, but it's because that feeling that's attached to it has now started to fade because you've gotten it so many times.
Okay. All
But
right.
again, it's that feeling of spontaneity. Like you can text a person, "Hey, good morning," but rewording it is like, you know, best way to do it. You know,
Mm-hmm.
hey,
ChatGPT.
fuck no, but
How do you say good morning 15 different ways? Like,
hey,
okay, so I'm
I
okay. I now that makes a lot of sense to me. That is clicking because like, and I'm gonna tell this story. It's just a
mhm,
quick one. Like when I dated that girl in Colorado, I
mhm,
would text her good morning. I remember specifically one time I text her good morning. She left me on red, which was not cool, but she sent me something through Facebook Messenger.
mhm,
And I was just like I was a little butthurt about it. So what
mhm.
I did, I screenshotted it and sent it to her in Facebook Messenger. I was like, I want my good morning text. So now, okay, okay, expectations. Okay, all right. That
Hmm.
you're actually making sense to me now.
Yeah,
Okay,
and
I get it. I get the big lore behind it. Okay,
yeah,
okay.
and it's one of those things again where it's like I think oftentimes when people think of the good morning text, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily from a partner, it is from a person that is pursuing them, right?
Mm-hmm.
So also the good morning text from a person that is pursuing you. If they are pursuing you but you're not reciprocating, chances are you don't really care what this person has to say regardless, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like, you're like a fallback option, or like you're a person that when I get lonely
Mm-hmm.
or bored,
Mm-hmm.
I can text, or like I can just look at the stuff for that dopamine hit again to know that I'm wanted, but I don't want you.
Mm-hmm.
So getting that good morning text from a person that you don't want it from starts to feel like a chore where you're like, oh my fucking God, this person again, this person is texting me every morning is not the person that I want to text me, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it starts to feel like they're bothering you because it's
Okay.
starting to feel like a
Okay.
job to look at it, right?
Okay.
But
Making
again,
sense.
yeah, but again, it's the same thing where it's like, hey, good morning. Hey, good morning, beautiful. Hey, good morning, just thinking of you. And it's like, like, right
Swinging
feeling,
it
wrong
to-
person.
Yeah.
But again, throughout the day, like I text people who I am like very familiar with. I text them as though we're having a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, I hit her with the, hey, just think about you, hoping you're having a good day.
Mm-hmm.
No follow up to it, no nothing.
I do that too. Like if someone pops into my head randomly,
Yeah,
I'll
and
just I'll
like,
just hit them with the text, and it's just like, or hit them with a message of some sort, and just say, "Hey, thinking about you. Hope you're doing good." And that's
mhm,
it.
yeah, and
And
like
that's.
it's
But if I'm actively pursuing someone, or
mhm,
we're in a relationship, like to me, like waking up to a wonderful good morning text would just like kick the day off right. You know what I
mhm,
mean? So that's how I feel about it. Like I want whoever I'm dating, if they're not, if they have a good personality,
mhm,
uh, you know, if you wake up to a good morning text, like hope you have a wonderful day, it boosts them morale for the day. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like
yeah,
so, but if it's
I.
just some random person,
Mhm.
then no, you're not getting one from me.
Hey, I do that to some of the homies now. I'm like,
Hey,
hey, I'm gonna send you a couple words of affirmation.
yeah,
One, that ass is looking nice.
yeah,
Two, the girls are sitting where they need to be sitting today.
mm-hmm,
Three, the skin fucking popping. 4, the hair is laid.
Yeah.
Go do what you got to do.
Go
It's gonna
be
be a
your
great day.
baddie self today.
Exactly.
Yep. Yep.
And I just leave it at that. And it's like, the expectation of like, oh, she's going to respond to me. I gave that shit up a long time ago because I'm like, if you don't have time, you may look at it and be like, oh my god, I'm gonna respond to this. Something happens, or maybe you look at it and you're like, I'm gonna take a minute, think about it, hit him back. And like I've also had people where they're just like, oh my god, like I thought I responded in my head, but I never hit send. And I'm like, hey, I've been there too. Like I'm there right now. Like I thought I texted this gal back, I did not. So now I gotta apologize and be like, hey, I am very sorry. I thought I responded, I did not. But it's also like being the adult and being like, hey, like if it's jiving, they will find time to respond, right?
Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
and that's the thing is like we have to understand as adults, like sometimes people get busy,
True.
like
True.
hey,
True.
it is what it is. Like sometimes people get busy, sometimes people things got going on, or sometimes people have things going on. But like it's what happens. So
True. Very true.
like
Very
I'm
true.
gonna send this with no expectations. But when it becomes like a daily thing, then again it's like, oh, it starts to feel disingenuous, right?
Starts to feel like a job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like trying to
Yeah.
reword good morning, like you
Yeah.
said, going to Chat GPT or like trying to
Let me say, I would never
no,
ask
hey,
ChatGPT how to tell me how to say
hey,
good morning. I perfectly know what words to put in what sentence. Well,
yeah, the good goes first, in case you were
yeah.
wondering.
Yeah.
But it's like certain people don't know how to do that, so they're like, well, I'm gonna wear this person down, and like to me that is a crazy concept of like I'm gonna wear this person down to the point where like they have to respond to me or they're
That's
eventually
something
gonna
I
give
won't do. That
fuck
no,
no
no,
dude.
no. The first if we're actively in a committed relationship and like the first couple days that I send you good morning and you stop sending them back, it's just like, all right, I'm just not even gonna bother anymore.
Hmm.
Like it came to the point where I'm not gonna bother anymore. It's not worth my time.
Yeah,
It's
and
not. You're gonna put a lot of frustration on you. And now, in like meeting people and talking to them, like I've definitely learned to be like, save the good mornings for when they're actually meaningful.
hmm
So,
yeah,
and we all have to learn things at certain times, folks. That's just how it goes. So,
hmm yeah. Hey,
so
sometimes you like for certain people, schedules is what works for them, right? But
yeah,
again, that's a part of getting to know a person.
yeah,
Like I've got two friends, they literally do everything together. Like
hmm,
they work together, like they are together 24/7,
ooh,
and it's
it,
what
it,
works for them.
good
Now, at the
point.
opposite end of the spectrum, I've got two friends who don't do anything together outside of like sleep in the same bed.
Okay,
Like from the time that they get up to the time they go to bed, they they
people are,
they live they live two very separate lives. But for
yeah,
them, it's what works. They love each
yeah,
other. They've been together a long time.
yeah.
So the trust is there, the love is there, but they're like, "Hey, you like to do ABC, I like to do XYZ." So instead of trying to force
We'll
each
meet
other,
at F. We'll meet at
yeah,
F.
yeah, there is a lot of F, you
Yeah,
know.
that's why.
But it's what works for them, and
Yeah,
like it's again finding what works for you and then running with it.
yeah.
Like if your lady is a good morning every day type of thing, man,
Then roll with it.
set them up, put them on auto send. When you're drunk and feeling extra poetic, schedule that
I
text
want to
message.
make you feel pretty, baby.
Yeah, hey man, been there, done that at the bar.
Yep. Yeah.
A little sad cowboy music has come on. I want my fourth shot of
On a
tequila.
neon moon.
Oh, man. Yeah, so it's like that's what works for me in that moment. I'm gonna
Yeah.
run with it, and if it
And
stops feeling
and
good,
communicate to me. If I send you a good morning text a couple days in a row and you're like, "Hey, I don't like it," just say it.
yeah,
There's nothing wrong with saying it.
yeah. But I think a big part of it again is what we have touched on multiple times. Is like the
Correct.
tough conversations are hard
Correct.
because if
I don't want to scare, some people are afraid of scaring other people off.
yeah, or what if she talks to you about that and you're like, oh, so fuck my good morning text messages, right?
Yeah.
2 week. You know what? Fuck a 2 week notice. I'm out of here today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go work at Quick Trip. They never say no to my good morning text, or because like people have the propensity of being hot or cold. There
Yeah.
is no. There is no like
In
there's an entire
between.
spectrum
Yeah.
that exists between those two things, but a lot of people don't know how to do that, right?
Yeah.
They don't know how to exist in that spectrum.
Yeah.
So it's like maybe they're scared to say something, or maybe they're like, I appreciate it, but I don't love it the way I did back then. So maybe
Yeah.
you take a break from doing it,
Yeah.
and then maybe she brings it up to you. She's like, "Hey, you used to text me every morning. Like, what happened?" Like, it stopped feeling special.
Yeah.
And once it stops feeling special, it starts to feel like a chore. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't want this relationship to feel like a chore. I want this to remain feeling special, but I also understand sometimes that means taking breaks from things that we normally do to allow them to regain that importance in our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, sometimes you take a break from choking and you go to spitting.
My hand's a little sore. I gotta stretch it out, baby.
Yeah, yeah. Like, baby, it was arm day in the gym. My hands cramping up. If I squeeze too hard, I don't know if I can pry my hands off. One arm is for stability, one hand is for choking. I can't use my elbow to pry the hands open.
No, I've got to
Maybe
work this hand out. I've
maybe
got
we
to work
skip
this
it.
hand out.
Yeah, maybe we skip it. We go to choking tonight,
Yeah.
or like some light slapping. You let's switch it up.
Yeah.
Let's see what else works for us in this relationship. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
sometimes, as weird as it is, you have to have those conversations as far as kinks, what works and what doesn't, because you can't just surprise a person mid-stroke and you're like, come here, and then she's like, this man is gonna murder me now because I didn't respond to his good morning text. Now she's terrified.
Damn. Like it all started from good morning text.
Now, dude, you gotta be able to come full circle with it,
Literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I've had those talks where I'm like, hey, this isn't a sexy conversation. It has potential to get there, depending on if we're on the same page. How do you feel about huh, huh, huh? And hey, to quote the late great Meatloaf, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
No, those are good odds.
Yeah.
That's a very good percentage.
Yeah, choking and spitting, no hitting, perfect. I don't want to
Awesome.
bruise you. You don't got to go to work looking like a pinata.
I will
Perfect.
see you tonight. Wear the red leather dress. Dress.
Hey, you know what? Don't even wear that.
I mean,
Leather
it's
leather
yeah.
is gonna lock all that in. Now you got to shower twice. Don't bother.
Well, start in the shower then.
Start in the shower, brother.
Come on.
No.
Yeah.
Have you seen Sinners yet?
With Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan, yeah.
And it was a pretty good movie. It was a pretty good movie.
So I am the cousin in that situation.
Okay, hang on.
she's
The
like-
one that got bit when he
No,
was
the one who got the scratch across the face.
the one who got okay. Okay.
So there's Michael B. Jordan and Michael B. Jordan, the brothers.
Okay. The
One-
cousin is the pastor's son.
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
Preacher
yeah,
boy.
yeah, yeah.
Now remember, when Preacher Boy sees the woman that he wants to,
Mm-hmm.
she says, "Wait, I just walked here," and he says, "I don't care."
Mm-hmm.
That is me,
Okay. Okay.
baby. You fresh off of work, so be it. As long
Yeah.
as you weren't out running an ultra marathon, hey,
All right, let's go for it.
yeah. So we're probably going to end up in the shower, but we're not starting in the shower. I'm not with
Hey,
that.
you know,
Again, different
which
strokes for
way?
different folks. Like,
Different strokes for different folks. But
yeah.
Joe, where can we find you, man?
Ooh, man. If you want to check out the festival, learn more about it, trailheadcomedyfest.com. Tickets are going to go up for sale soon. I'm going to be running discounted pre-sale tickets probably going into next month. Lineup will also be announced around April or May. Give people more time to look at everything. If you feel as though you want to submit, whether to be a sponsor or a volunteer, or if you want to come perform comedy, all those tabs are up there. The submission fee is $25. What that money goes towards is also listed on the website. It does not go into my pocket. It gets reinvested into every single person who gets chosen to perform. Outside of that, my personal Instagram is badnewsbuck, bad_newsbuck. If you want to come out and see my buddies and I do stand-up comedy, that is High Altitude Comedy, also on Instagram. And I also built us a website. So it's highaltitudecomedy.crd.co.
Okay, hell yeah, dude, hell yeah. And if you want to find me, just hit the old Instagrams at on the level 162. Twitch is at on the level 162. Podcast at Mind of JPA on Instagram. Love every single one of you guys. Thank you, Joe, for coming on. And fear God keeps his commandments. See you on the next one.
Bye, guys.